My name is Selena.
And my name's Theoni, and you are listening to Piping Hot.
Welcome to another episode of Piping Hot.
I'm literally so excited for today's episode, although I feel like my reaction may be kind of surprising because I think I surprised myself when I was watching the Hating Game. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited to hear
I know.
your thoughts because I wish we watched this movie together because I feel like we would have had so much fun.
Oh, we would have. Yes, 100%. Because it's one of those things where I feel like when something's cringy or something like that, when you can make fun of it with someone else, it makes it that much better. Like,
Yeah.
I remember I did that, a couple of my grad school friends and we watched After We Fell together, and we were like, I can't. Like, the part where he's like, Trevor. I'm just like, what are you saying? It's so bad. But yes, it would have been much more fun to watch together.
It's funny because I'm like, how do these movies get made sometime? Like, sometimes they're just so bad.
That's what happens when you get your plot lines from like really poorly written Wattpad articles or
Yes.
whatever you call them. I don't know. Who am I to say? Anyways, what kind of tea are you drinking today?
Today, I am drinking something called Positive Energy from Yogi, which last time I drank stress relief from Yogi. Like, Yogi should be like sponsoring me.
Yeah, hey Yogi, if you want to sponsor Selena and I, we'll advertise you to our 5
Please.
listeners, and I bet you'll get a ton of business.
You can get it at your local Target or Walmart or wherever you shop. But you know, I'm drinking something that I found in Target, just like going down the tea aisle.
Classic.
It's called Positive Energy, and it's like a sweet tangerine, and it's actually
Ooh.
really good.
Okay, well, I actually have to go grocery shopping at Target tomorrow, so maybe I'll just go and spend some more money I don't have on some tea because I am once again drinking my pink chai, which I love. I need to Selena's coming to visit me soon, you guys, and so I'm gonna make her try some of my pink chai tea so she knows because it's so interesting.
Yes, you have to save me some. Don't drink it all.
I will do my best, although I do consume an absorbent amount of tea. Or what's that word? Abhorrent? No, not absorbent. I said an absorbent.
Absorbent.
What's that word?
Abhor. Yeah, I think you said it right.
Abhorrent?
No, just kidding. That's not right.
It's not right at all. I'm in grad school, guys. I'm very intelligent. Thank you. Anyways, I'm curious. I, for once, have a lot of pop culture things to discuss today.
No way.
I do. I'm
Theoni,
very
it's
excited.
a first.
I know. I'm very excited.
Interestingly enough, my pop culture list is really, really short, but it's probably because we've already talked about some stuff, but we'll get to that. Did we want to talk about like life stuff or whatever?
Well, do I want to talk about life stuff right now? That's a really good question because yesterday, to put it lightly, was a disaster, and I'm not going to go into it right now. But today was a better day, you know, just trying to think positively. I need like one more thing checked off my list, and it will be next week. So once that's done, life will be so much better than right now. But it's okay. We just take it a day at a time, you know?
Yeah, maybe you need some positive energy tea.
I think I need positive energy. I think I need stress relief. I think I need sleep tea. I think I need a calm the heck down tea. I think I need an everything tea because life is chaos.
Yeah.
Anyways, how's your life, Selena?
It's going fine. I'm sorry to hear that it's crumbling.
You know?
That's just sometimes it happens sometimes. But no, I'm doing better, okay? Because the last time we talked, I was like, I'm obviously drinking stress relief tea, but now I'm taking a day off of work next week. So
Nice.
I'm just going to take a breather and it's going to be so good. And yeah, no, I've been just like chilling lately, like without putting any like stress on like things I have to do, because then that stresses me out, you know? So
100%.
But, it's been going good.
I'm glad it's going better. That's always good to hear because I don't know. It's always bad when it's like, oh, it's bad, but is it going to get worse? I really hope not. But
Yeah.
I'm glad you're taking the time to relax because I know, like, I don't know, when you have 500 things to do, you just don't slow down. But it's so important to take that time to slow down. So I'm proud of you for being like, I need that.
Thanks.
And like actually doing it for yourself.
Thanks. That means a lot.
But not to change the subject, but I just Rihanna's pregnant with probably the most beautiful, most talented child this earth has ever seen. I don't know why I'm so excited about someone else's child. I don't know, but I am. I'm very excited. I want to know the name.
Did you see that it might be twins?
Oh, okay. You know what? If Rihanna has twins, I am going to combust.
It's going to be another Beyonce moment because Beyonce had twins, and I feel like Rihanna might pull the same thing and just be like, surprise, it's 2 babies.
I could totally see that. 100%. Yeah. Another thing I think is really exciting. Tom Holland and Zendaya, did they move in together actually?
Yes, they did.
In London.
Yes, they did. I literally screamed because I sent a TikTok to Theoni about it and I screamed. And then I got a BuzzFeed article about it too. So I was like, it's real. It's real.
Oh my gosh. I am like so happy for them. And like, I really want them to do one of those like 70 questions with Vogue, except with both of them in their new home.
No. Oh my gosh. No, it's it's like the home tour. From,
yes. I need them to do that.
Home architect or whatever, because you know who else did it. I think her name is
Dakota.
Emmy.
Oh no,
Dakota Johnson's tour is really really good though.
Yes,
too.
So good.
But the couple, Emmy and oh my gosh, that guy from Hamilton. They're both from Hamilton. What's his name? He played He played.
I do want a tour of Lin-Manuel Miranda's house though.
No, he played Lafayette.
Oh, Daveed Diggs?
Yes, and like his girlfriend, Emmy or whatever. They did a tour together.
Emmy Rossum is his girlfriend? Wait, Emmy Raver. It's not so. Rossum. Emmy Rossum's the one from Shameless, I think.
Yes, you're right. Emmy Raver. Because they met on Hamilton and
of course they did.
They did a home tour. So gorgeous. So I really, really need one for Tom and Zendaya. So
because it'll be like the most beautiful home ever.
Oh yeah.
Along with beautiful things, I do have something to mention about Andrew Garfield. He got nominated for an Oscar. For Tick Tick Boom, I literally was watching the Academy like live, and I never really care about nominations and stuff, but I was so happy for him. Like, it's so well deserved, and he released a statement. I wish I had it on hand, but he released a statement to the Academy just talking about like how thankful he is and lucky, and I'm just like, you're so humble. Oh my gosh. But I'm just like so happy for him, honestly.
That's awesome. To be honest, I have not been in the Oscar realm at all, but that's so great to hear that he was nominated. Wow.
I was on my way. I was in an Uber to class because my bus decided not to show up. Boston people, that buses just never show up here. But I was on the bus and I read it and I was like, why am I like tearing up right now? Like, it's not anything to do with me, but I was just very happy. Okay, on another more serious note, did you watch that movie on Hulu, The Fallout?
No. What is it about?
It's a newer one. It has Maddie Ziegler and Jenna Ortega. You should really watch it, Selena. It is like, honestly, we could do a whole episode about it. I'm not even joking. It is so well done and so sad and like scary. Basically, I'm not spoiling anything, but basically it's about like a school shooting and like how people cope with the trauma differently and like the aftermath of it and just like all of that. And it's like really, really well done. And I just thought it was like very, very important. And the way that it talks about it so realistically is really, really good. So I highly recommend it. But it is, of course, way more serious. So
yeah. Wow. I haven't heard of that movie. And like I have Hulu, so like it should have like popped up, when you like log in, but I haven't seen it. I'll have to check it out.
Okay, yes, definitely check it out. It's really good. My friend texted me this because she knows I'm like obsessed with Ariana Grande, but there were Ariana Grande pregnancy rumors going around, I guess.
Oh, I did see that.
Which I'm sorry, but I just don't. I never really clock into pregnancy rumors much because literally half of the time it's like based off of like a poor picture, and I'm just like, can you leave the woman alone?
Except if it's a Kardashian. Because
Yeah, oh my gosh.
I always buy into that. Because like I think
yeah.
some TikToker
Predicted
like,
Kylie's,
Kylie's
right?
second, yes, Kylie's second pregnancy. So I'm like, if it's a Kardashian, yes, but
If it's anyone but a Kardashian, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'll have to just kind of like, we'll have to track that one because that would be bad timing.
I was just gonna say she's literally like training to go and film Wicked, like
Yeah.
the live action. So I'm like, that is so really bad timing, like not ideal.
But also, again, a beautiful child, which I would love an Ariana Grande pregnancy.
Yes.
Because, oh my gosh. Okay, I have two more things. I'm so sorry.
No.
Okay, the first one is I'm obsessed with Sweet Magnolias on Netflix. And season 2 came out, and I'm in the process of watching it. And so far, it's so good. Some of the acting is like... But overall, it's just such a really like wholesome, good show. And Jamie Lynn Spears has not made an appearance yet this season from what I've watched. So I'm curious if she will or not. Especially because there was like a petition going around to get her like cut out of it after all the Britney stuff. But
Oof. I'm gonna be honest. I have not watched Sweet Magnolia. I have seen it on the Netflix like screen because you know how Netflix has their like ratings. That's been number 1 this past week.
yeah,
So
I
was
don't
like,
think you would like it. Yeah. To be
Why?
honest, I think it's a little too like cheesy and just like like I don't know, like, and not
Okay.
in a way that I feel like you would like. But
Okay.
maybe you should watch it and let me know. I don't
yeah,
know.
maybe I will.
I also just want to hear your thoughts on the Kim and Kanye drama going around.
This could literally be an entire episode.
Yes, I know. We should we should save it for an episode, honestly.
I haven't dived in deep, but I'm also like on that side of TikTok where it's like I see all of that Kardashian stuff, especially with like Khloe and what's his face, Tristan.
Oh yeah.
I
We
saw
don't know his name.
I saw on TikTok that people are calling him like Trashton or whatever.
That's so stupid, but
know.
also
Accurate. It's crazy, and I have my thoughts.
all I will say is as of right now, Kim is handling it in a more mature way. But that's all I will say.
The thing is, though, I'm not surprised. Like, I wouldn't expect anything less from Kim, you know? Like, everyone likes to rip on her, but I feel like she is, like, one of the strongest Kardashians. out of
She's
all of
grown
them.
so much.
Yes. Did you
All
see
right,
that statement?
let's
Wait.
save it.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, I do want to hear what you have on your list for the week, though.
Okay, well, literally nothing, because we covered... We covered literally everything except for like maybe one or two things. For those of you who have listened to our first 2 episodes,
I know what you're gonna say.
We are still following Joshua Bassett, and he's been teasing something on his socials about something with like 225. And by the time that this episode comes out, it'll already be like we'll already know what it is. But now that we're recording, it's not 225. But I'm so excited to see like what he'll announce.
I think it's going to be like a single, but maybe he'll announce like an album at the same time. Because he posted that thing on his story where like that new song, or was it on his story? That thing you sent me,
Yep.
or was it a TikTok?
It was a TikTok.
Okay, the TikTok you sent me, it was basically just like a clip of a song we haven't heard before. So I feel like maybe he'll drop a single, but then maybe tease an album at the same time or something. What do you think it'll be?
Oh, really? I think it's going to be an album.
A whole ass album?
Yeah. What? He had so much time last year. Like, I mean, okay, if you're being real, like the outlet of writing music and creating music is probably like really helpful for him. So I'm like, dude, how many songs are you sitting on? Enough to make an album?
But I'm just curious from like a marketing standpoint, do we think it's going to drop all at once, or do you think they're going to drop the single and then try to build up to it?
Okay, no, you're right. It'll probably be a single and then
But if
build
he
up to
dropped
it.
a whole album, I would be ecstatic.
He would pull a Taylor Swift, be like, "Oh, here's the whole 20-song album."
I would cry.
Me
literally.
too. Me
Oh my
too.
gosh.
Literally so random. But I was like in a movie watching phase because I was like, after watching The Hating Game, which we're going to talk about, I was like, oh my gosh, I should watch something else. Because remember, I'm trying to chill, right? I'm trying to chill.
Yes.
and I watched on Netflix Enola Holmes. Have you heard of that movie?
Never heard of it in my life.
It's with Millie Bobby Brown, who's from
Oh.
Stranger Things. And it's basically like Sherlock Holmes' younger sister, Enola. And like her mom goes missing. So she has to
Oh.
like go on this adventure. My husband, Henry Cavill, is in it as well. So that's why I watched it.
Yes, please. Okay, enough said.
But it was super fun. It was a really, really fun movie. Like I was pleasantly surprised. Obviously, it's not like groundbreaking or whatever, but it was
Sure.
super fun. And then
Okay.
the reason why I watched it though, Netflix does this thing where they release a movie every week of the year. So it's like 52 movies for the year.
No.
Well, that's what they did last year and they're doing it again this year. They like released a trailer for it and like highlighted all 52 movies that they're like gonna like release or whatever. And they have like some like really big stars. I'm like so impressed with Netflix and their like game to like really step up their movie game because
Yeah.
I feel like they have their TV game down, right? They have Bridgerton, Stranger Things, they have like a bunch of stuff, but their
Yeah.
movie like area is kind of lacking, but the trailer that they released was so good. You should definitely look it up. I feel like you would really like it.
Okay, I definitely will. No, I'm excited for Netflix movies. I do think they've been getting better actually. And I
Yes.
feel like they need to get better, especially because they're charging you more for the service. They're having like more and more and more original shows versus like other shows. So I feel like they
Yes.
kind of have to step it up. So I'm glad to hear that they're actually doing that. And I'm very looking forward to the trailer.
Yes.
Because I love seeing what's like coming. Because then
Yeah.
it gives you something to look forward to, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Should we dive in?
Yes, because that's it with my pop culture things. We're gonna dive in to today's topic, which is The Hating Game, but the movie, not the book. So
Neither of us have read the book, by the way.
yes, so this is gonna be really interesting. For those of you who have read the book, let us know your thoughts because I'm so intrigued. But if you haven't seen the movie yet or read the book, definitely do one or the other before listening to this episode. But before we dive in with our thoughts, I have a little tiny synopsis of the movie, and it's super short, unlike my Love Hypothesis stuff, if you've listened to that episode. As assistants to the co-CEOs of a publishing company, Lucy and Joshua sit across from each other every day, and they hate each other. Not dislike, like literally hate. Lucy can't understand Josh's joyless, uptight approach to his job and refusal to smile, which is in stark contrast to her bright clothes, quirkiness, and people-pleasing. Trapped in a shared office 5 days a week, they've become entrenched in an addictive, ridiculous, never-ending game of one-upmanship. Lucy can't let Josh beat her at anything, especially when a huge new promotion to be a managing director is up for grabs. They strike a deal that whoever does not get the promotion must quit. It's game on, but as tensions reach boiling point and an innocent elevator ride turns into a steamy kiss, Lucy begins to realize just how fine a line there is between love and hate.
Did you write that?
I did not.
Oh my god.
It's from IMDb, you guys. I'm not that great. I swear.
I was like, as you were reading that, I was like, oh my gosh, Selena needs like a career change. Like, she needs to start doing this for a living. Like, I literally got chills reading that. I was like, oh my gosh, not the one-upmanship line. I was like, go off. Wow.
No, it's from IMDb. No, I'm
was
not that
so
creative.
I want to give you my general thoughts, just like very general before we kind of like go through it. I thought the beginning was like really good and I was really intrigued and all of that. But then I swear to you, after the sex scene, it went way downhill.
Really?
I honestly, by the end of the movie, I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't get the conflict. I don't see their chemistry. I'm a little uncomfortable right now. And there was something about the end of it. By the end of it, I was like, I don't know if I like this anymore.
You know what? For me, it stopped being interesting the second that she went over to his apartment.
Wow. Interesting. Okay, but I'm glad that you don't love it either because I was really worried. Maybe this episode's going to be a roast. Who's to say? That's so interesting. What do you think it was about the apartment? Was it the fact that like the dialogue was cringy, or was it the fact that like the chemistry wasn't there, or what?
It was too much of a tease. Like, I think in a movie and also in a book, you need to have a really good balance of like a push and pull. And by the time that she got to the apartment, I was like, this is it. This is it. But then there was way too much, because obviously you know how it ends at the apartment. There was just too much back and forth to the point where I was confused as a viewer of being like, what is happening right now? Like, it didn't make any sense that I was like not into it anymore.
I know. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's too bad. And I'm so curious, like, because I want to read the book now that I've seen the movie.
Me too.
But just because to see if I like it better, because obviously the book got such good reviews and all of those things. And I'm just curious if we would get more of that push and pull in the book versus than we did in the movie, which I feel like we probably would.
100%. Like, I feel like The Hating Game was so huge. And again, I don't read contemporary romance, but I've always heard of The Hating Game. And I like to think that The Hating Game walked so that the love hypothesis could run.
Ooh.
I feel like it's a staple, Like, I don't know. I guess in the book talk community, it's like, oh, The Hating Game, right? Like,
you're
so
very
huge.
100%. I agree with you. Basically, I just have a bunch of my reactions.
You should see my notes because some of them are just lowercase and some of them are just all caps.
I'm bummed I didn't love this movie. I also need to read the book because I want to know how the characters are described in the book and how well they fit.
Yep.
Because there's something about Joshua that I just wasn't like.
That's one of my notes, but now that you just brought it up, I'm just going to talk about it.
Just talk about it. Who cares if it's out of order?
The thing about me that was so hard to get into the movie was that Lucy lived and breathed her character. Like, I was like, you are literally Lucy. Josh, though, I was like, you are a paper copy and you're reading something off of page. Like, I can tell, like, he wasn't like robotic, like he wasn't awkward or anything, but I could tell that he was acting.
I think that it needed more of like when he was acting like he hated her, or like even his looks, like it needed to be more,
Like, I didn't like him. I mean, okay, I liked him, but I didn't have the love that I have for like Adam Carlson or Henry Cavill or any of the other fictional characters that I love. I didn't have that like feeling. I was just like, oh, you're just there. Like, okay.
I did like, though, the first, like, one of the first shots that you get in the movie of, like, just how different, like, their sides of the office are. I really like that because I feel like it just keys you in right away to, like, what kind of movie it's gonna be,
Yeah, I thought it was so cute, and like visually it was stunning because I was like, oh, like she's like so colorful and fun, and he is like very, very uptight, just like everything is organized and everything is like all black. Like, I love that contrast.
There was something at the beginning that I was like, why is the movie putting so much focus on this? But after I thought about it more, I'm thinking that maybe it was described in the book, so they threw it in. There's this one part where there was like a good 10 seconds where they just like went back and forth rubbing their necks.
Oh, yes. That was like the opening montage, right?
Yes.
Where it was like her voiceover, like she was narrating. Yeah. That was a little weird.
Yeah. And I'm like, maybe if I read the book, I'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that paragraph. But I feel like in the movie context, you don't get enough like, I don't know, dialogue to back that up. And I'm like, okay, they're rubbing their necks. I don't.
You know what also kind of like fell in that realm for me? It was like her lipstick thing too.
I literally have a note about that, Selena. I mean, of course, in like romance books and movies and things like that, there's like certain tropes or certain things that, you know, like come back later, like we talked about in the Love Hypothesis, which like the red lipstick thing did kind of come up later.
Yes.
But it just felt a little like predictable, like
Yeah.
a little tacky, like I don't know.
I wasn't vibing with it, and it felt a little forced for me. I will say, though, I did laugh out loud when she started putting on her makeup in that, like, beginning montage, and he does the same, except he does it with his middle finger.
That's literally my note. It's so funny.
It's
oh my
hilarious. So that part I really did appreciate, but then as they brought it on throughout the movie, I was like, I guess you could drop it. Like, I don't, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. There were funny moments, of course, and parts where I was like, oh my gosh.
I will say one thing. When I pulled up the movie and it was literally, you know, like the studio that created it or whatever, like that was coming up, I looked in the corner and it said this was rated R. I was like, this is rated R? I thought this was PG-13. And so then when I saw that at the beginning, I was like, oh, this is rated R. Literally fell so flat for me. I was like, this is rated R? Are you kidding me right now?
Okay, first of all, the sex scene was approximately 10 seconds long. And there
Not
was
even.
literally no reason to show his butt. None.
No,
None
nothing.
at
And-
all.
I have so many thoughts. Okay, I'm not going to jump, but I have so many thoughts. And I was like, a rated R rating didn't make sense to me. But I think the reason why they did that was obviously his butt, but also they're swearing too. So I was like, oh, I mean, I guess that could make it rated R, right? I guess I don't know what the difference, like what that line is. I was a little disappointed because I was like, this feels very PG-13 to me.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely could have been PG-13. It was not. Okay, Selena, maybe you can help me figure out what I meant by this.
Okay.
I wrote the cupcakes killed me. LOL.
Oh, it was their like it was like a semicolon or a period on there, and like they were arguing about it, weren't they? And that's
Oh,
what like
yeah.
reported them to HR, right?
Like,
it's like I'm gonna shove it up your like, you know, right? I think that was
I
it.
think so. I think so.
Okay, I did find that really funny though. That little like
yeah.
flashback scene. I was like, why can't I get this? Like this is what I want.
No, 100%. I think that's why I like the beginning of the movie, but not the rest of it. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it was very rom-com, like funny moments. Like, you definitely got like the hello, enemies to lovers plot line. The one thing that I did viscerally hate throughout the whole movie, and whoever this actor did a fantastic job at making me hate him, but Richard, he was so rude to Helen. Richard is Joshua's boss.
Oh my gosh, wait, that's his first name? They addressed him as his last name the entire time. So I was like, who the hell is Richard?
This episode's about to be chaos because, like, honestly, I feel like I have so much more mean things to say
Yeah.
than like actually talking through the movie.
Okay, I know I'm jumping, but I just have to say it.
Just jump.
The cringe part of me at the end when he was like, move. And he like, it was so dumb. He was like, you're fired. And like Josh was like, I already quit. And then he like walked up to Josh. He was like, move. Or did something so stupid. Do you remember
Yes,
that?
yes, I do. No, I was gonna say the whole ending of the movie was so anticlimactic.
I'm like I'm gonna throw up, but in a bad way this time.
literally, like I can't even stop laughing about it because it's just like he's like, but you got it because I got a job somewhere else, and she was like, thank you, and then they kissed.
Oh my God.
And then everyone started cheering, and I was like, nope.
Oh my
Nope.
God. Okay. I'm not gonna. Okay. Sorry. I'm not gonna jump because I have so much more to say. But I'm
I'm
gonna.
so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna jump back to the beginning
Okay.
because I have a thing. I will say, like you said before, I really, really liked the beginning. I thought they set it up really, really great. Plus, they played Mercy, right, by Duffy.
I love that song.
The second I heard it come on, I was like, this is the best song that you can pick to set the tone. And I was just like, yeah, I was like vibing the entire time.
100%. It actually had
Yeah.
a decent soundtrack throughout, I feel like. Again, just setting up the whole rest of the film. I liked the plot line it set up with like them competing for the job
Yes.
and like all
Yeah.
of that.
Another reason why I liked the beginning is because their banter was so quick and snappy. And literally, again, I wish we watched this together because I kept screaming to the TV like, ooh, shots fired. Like, they were so good.
Usually, I like when people have like nicknames for each other, but I could not for the life of me get behind Shortcake. It
Me
made me
neither.
want to throw up, to
Me
be honest.
neither. I was so confused at the beginning. I was like, shortcake. That's literally what you're calling her. Okay.
It's like, it's so painful. It's
Yeah.
so painful. Also, can we talk about another thing that
Yeah.
really didn't make any sense?
Yeah.
The Smurfs. I'm sorry. Like, I get that her family were like strawberry farmers or whatever.
Yeah.
But it seemed so pointless. Like,
Yeah.
was it to emphasize her quirkiness? Because I feel like they didn't need to be there.
Part of me kind of did like the Smurf part, but only because it said more about Lucy than it did about their entire relationship. I guess for me personally, I like the trope where the girl has a hobby and the guy makes fun of it, but then he secretly likes it and like secretly
Okay.
supports it. So I was like, oh, I was
Okay.
like, okay, I see what you're doing here. It was probably a part of the book, but I agree that like after Thanksgiving or whatever, it just like didn't make sense.
Yeah, and I think maybe in the book, if it was like thought out more like the way you just described that trope, I think
Yeah.
I would have liked it more. But I feel like we really didn't see it play out that much.
Oh,
And so
no.
I was just like, this just seems like a random thing thrown in rather than like a purposeful thing to like add to whatever.
Yeah. And I think the only time that like Josh, like that the Smurfs really play a part in Josh's life is when he's walking the street and there's a frickin' Smurf standing on the corner of the street. And then that's when he's like reminded of Lucy and blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, I get it. But like, it didn't make sense.
Okay, so one thing that I did, which I had told Selena before we started the episode, but while I was watching, I did record 3 separate voice memos that I will share when we start talking about the parts that they're at.
Oh my God, yes.
The one line that I did love that Josh, which did he go by? Josh, right? Eventually.
Yeah, Josh. Yep.
Okay. When he said, if I was flirting with you, you would know it, I was like, oh. See, that was a good line. I was
Yes.
like, that I liked.
Yeah.
Okay, can we talk about another character though?
Yeah, go for it.
Danny.
Okay. I have a controversial point, okay?
Okay.
I thought Lucy and Danny had more chemistry than Lucy and Josh.
I agree 100%.
When Lucy and like the scenes with Lucy and Danny, I was like, wow, this feels really nice. And they were talking about how like they both grew up on a farm and blah, 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 blah. Like it felt so real and it was so cute. And then
Yeah.
with Josh and Lucy, I was like, this feels weird.
I know. And here's the thing that I will say. I agree with you that Danny and Lucy had much more chemistry, but I will say I had a hard time with Danny's character because number one, he played like the nerdy thing like very, very well. And he was almost like a little cringy, like not necessarily nerdy in a good way at all.
Oh, yeah.
It was like very painful,
Yeah.
but they talked down to him and made him feel like they just treated him horribly. Like she took advantage of him. And I know they had a good resolve of it by the end. And like he ended up being a good friend for advice and things like that. But I just did not like the way that like Lucy treated him when she knew that like he liked her so much.
Yeah, it felt like icky to me. It was like really, really early in the beginning when like Josh was like, oh, okay, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyways, but when she like went to him to his office to be like, hey, let's go on a date tonight at 7 at the AC or whatever. And he's like, oh, well, I have like a going away party and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, tonight. And he's like, okay, whatever. I felt so icky just watching her like pressure him into like going out to dinner, knowing that he is literally in love with her. I was just like, ugh, really?
Literally 100%. I was like, respect his schedule. Like, that's when I was like, you're being really selfish.
Oh, 100%. And then when they went to the bar, it kind of went away because then I realized that I was like, oh, wow, Lucy, you have a lot in common with Dan. Again, he's like really awkward, but he's like super sweet.
So sweet. I personally was not super like attracted to the character of Danny. I'm not going to say anything, but like, I think if he had been like a really attractive character, I would have almost rooted for them too much. You know what I mean?
Oh, same. And I think they did that on purpose. What I was going to say when I was getting ahead of myself is because she went into Danny's office with a black dress. And the reason why she wore a black dress was because the night before she had a sex dream about Josh. Theoni, I literally screamed when he was like in her dream and he said, I'm going to work you so effing hard. I was like, excuse me? What? This was like 15 minutes in, okay?
Can I tell you something though?
Okay, yeah.
It made me laugh. I was like, what do you mean you're gonna work her so effing hard? Like, no. Like, okay. Like I don't know.
No, okay, I agree. I think my problem with it was it moved way too fast. Like, again, this was 15-20 minutes in and she's already having this like dream about like I was like, what is happening? And it didn't feel believable to me because I was like, why are you dreaming about him? And that is why I want to read the book, because I want to see how fast it moves, because I felt like literally throughout this entire movie it moved way too fast. From like hating each other to like I guess you're fine, oh my god, to like I'm obsessed with you,
especially on his end. Yes. There was this one part that I actually wanted to scream. There was one part where they were like, I forget the context, but they were calling each other like mommy and daddy.
In the elevator, yes. I found it really funny. Did you cringe?
Yes.
Okay.
I literally like paused it and I was like, I need a moment to collect myself because like like I don't know.
Okay, I laughed out loud at that part because I was like, this is literally the weirdest thing, but like they hate each other too, so I just thought it was funny.
Okay, yes. Okay, funny, yes. I thought it was really sad that she was alone on Thanksgiving and like all of these things, not necessarily because that's like a bad thing, but I just thought it was interesting. I like when like main characters still have some sort of like support system or like really evident hobby or something like that, but maybe that like symbolized like her being like so invested in her work that she kind of like shut out everyone else. I don't know.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like that was pointless. Because yeah, maybe it said something about Lucy's character and like how she's like really dedicated to her work and blah, 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 blah. But I don't know. Like, I felt like it was really pointless. And like, I agree that like in a contemporary romance, I need that friend who will be a catalyst. And eventually Danny becomes that. But we don't get that with Lucy. So it was so weird. I don't know.
And that's the one thing I think is, now that you're talking about it, I think is one of like the problems I have with it is just like there's so many pieces that I feel like had the potential to like make it better, but they just were never played out properly.
Yeah.
Or they moved so fast through them, like you were saying, that we never were able to react to it.
Yes, and that's why I'm so intrigued about the novel, because I'm like, I want to see how much you cut, because this 100%. Feels really fast. Why wouldn't Lucy have any friends? Like, maybe we just didn't get a lot of background on her in the movie, but maybe in the book we do.
One thing I will say before the elevator scene, I just want to mention the fact that, like, he knew that she had a sex dream. I thought that was so funny and, like, embarrassing. I was like, oh.
Okay, I thought it was weird that he knew, because I was like, that's weird. You hate her. why are you saying this at work? That's so inappropriate. Like,
Okay,
it's
fair.
not, I wouldn't find that attractive. I'd find that freaking invading. I'd be like,
Yes.
leave me alone. But
Uh-huh.
they tried to position it in a way where it's like, oh, they hate each other and they're teasing each other, so let's have him like guess that he like knows that she had a sex dream, which I get and I understand that trope. But at that moment when I watched the scene, I was like, how would you know, Josh? How would you know?
Okay, true though. Now I think I hate it after hearing what
I'm
you
sorry.
said.
I'm sorry. No. At this point in the film, before the elevator scene, Josh reminded me of Gale from the Hunger Games. And I think maybe it's because of the way he looks, that he looks like Liam Hemsworth, or the way that he like talks. I was like, you are way too much of a Gale for me right now.
I don't even barely remember the Hunger Games movies, to be honest, but I remember not loving Gale.
Oh yeah, no. Oh no. That's not it. The Hunger Games was like literally my whole entire personality. So
Okay.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
So we should talk about the elevator scene.
Uh-huh.
What do you think?
One thing you have to know about me is that like I love cheesy scenes, but they have to have a good balance of cheesy and being realistic, which I will also get into like a later scene in the movie. But for this, I really liked it up until they kissed. So one thing for me that kind of like really stood out to me is that this was the moment that I realized that Josh was a soft boy. When he whispered, "Do you really hate me?" I was like,
Yes.
I was like,
literally
oh my
have that marked
gosh.
down.
Yeah, I was like, oh, are you sensitive? Like, oh my gosh, wait just a minute. So it definitely changed my perspective of him when he did whisper that. In my notes, I say, OMFG, the elevator scene, just a bunch of like letters that I hit on my keyboard. And then I said, do they have chemistry though? That was the
No.
problem for me. Yep.
No, and then when they're sitting in the car afterward getting driven to like the thing,
Yes.
it was so awkward because, and not even awkward in a good way, because I didn't feel the tension. I was just like, this is weird.
Oh my God, I totally agree with you. I don't even know why that car scene was even included. That was so dumb.
Literally so dumb.
I thought the elevator scene was good. I think I felt like it was like, oh my gosh, like everything's coming to a head and they're like kissing or whatever.
Sure.
I just wanted to feel it and I didn't feel it, you know?
Yes. And as a lover of Grey's Anatomy, any of you watching who have seen Grey's Anatomy, you'll know Shonda Rhimes loves a good elevator scene in that show. And so I have my expectation of what an elevator scene should be.
And that was not it.
It was not it. It was like way below. It
Yeah.
was like way. Why did I say that? Did I get an accent all of a sudden? Below. Like the heck? Okay. Anyways.
I'll jump now because we talked about the car scene.
Jump.
And then, like, she jumps out of the car and Josh follows her to the bar and was like, oh, you forgot your purse. I thought that was weird. He was trying to like make a point too. And at this point of the movie, I was like, I like you, Josh, but I don't understand why you're giving her an explanation. Like, we don't need that right now,
Yeah.
you know? And it just felt so weird because when he was like trying to give her the purse, he was trying to be like, I didn't
Flirty.
mean, yes, or I don't
Or
know what he was,
apologetic.
yes, he was like, oh, I didn't mean blah, blah in the elevator or whatever. And it was just the weirdest freaking scene. And I think that's why they kept the car scene, because then he needed to come to the bar. But again, it's like, at this point, it's just dumb.
I remember feeling very weird about that. And
Yes.
I just,
Yep.
why are you apologizing? And I really feel like it was out of his character, because even though he's a soft boy, I was like,
Yeah.
I feel like at that point he would have been like unapologetic about it, but he wasn't. And so it really confused me.
Okay, that was also my problem with this character, which is why I couldn't believe him, right? I could believe Lucy, but I could not believe Josh because
Yes.
he felt like a really slippery fish. Like I could not could not get a grasp on him because I'm like, this is like 25 minutes in the film. Why are you following her to the bar, apologizing? This is not you. And then after that, too, it's even more confusing. I don't understand you, and you're not making it any easier for me to understand you.
I literally have a note here that says their date is going well, actually, which just goes to show their chemistry that we were talking about, Lucy and Danny. Not what?
In my note, I say, literally in my note, I say, okay, Lucy and Danny are actually kind of cute.
Yes!
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Okay, now we need to talk about something important. The roses.
The second I saw those roses, I knew it was from Josh.
Oh,
no
same.
doubt.
Let me pull out my first voice memo.
Okay.
Okay, so I just had to give my genuine reaction because I can't breathe right now. Those flowers are from Josh. I'll bet you $20. I can't breathe. I really can't breathe. I cannot. My ability to breathe has,
So that's my first one.
That's amazing. I love it.
But it was so obvious that they were from him. Like, come on now.
Because guess what? On the note, it said you're beautiful or whatever, which was like what they were talking or arguing about. I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, he got her freaking roses. I like love this trope, right? I like eat it up. But at the same time, I'm like, Josh, honey, I do not know what you're doing. You are confusing to me. Why are you sending her roses? Like,
literally.
I don't understand.
I know they kind of skirted around it in the dialogue, so like Danny didn't really know that she thought they were from him, but I also feel like he would have picked up on that. Like, I never took Danny as like stupid. I just thought that was weird that he didn't say something to her right away. And I feel like it would have been much more effective had Danny been like, oh, they weren't from me, and then she knew that they were from him but didn't tell him right away. I feel like that would have been better.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Oh, wait, I actually dig that. I really like that. I'm not going to jump, but then we know what happens with the whole roses thing too. But what I was going to say is after the whole rose debacle, Josh comes into the office like the next day looking like a little rugged. And me being like the crazy self I am, I was like, yes, he looks so good. He's not like uptight anymore. Like his hair is like a little messy. I was like, okay, I can vibe with this Josh. Okay?
Yes, I needed that from him. I needed a little like, I don't know.
Yes.
I really like that.
Another thing in this scene that I thought was so hilarious was when they put their weapons down and like
yes, and then she was like, that was my next note, and she's sitting there, she's like, I come prepared, and then she's pulling guns out of her socks, like her shirt, like that was actually really funny.
It was so funny, and I was like, wait, that's actually really, really cute. Like, oh my gosh.
And at that point in the movie, for me, it made sense.
Yes.
That was one of those times it actually made sense, but I agree.
Yes, one of the only times that it made sense.
I think the next big thing that happened, sorry if I'm jumping, is paintball, right?
Yes. I
bothered me.
Yep.
So much.
Yep. Me too. What was the point? I do not understand why paintball is literally the weirdest freaking thing to insert right in the middle of the movie. Plus, paintball in the snow? Not over my dead body.
So,
you're not going to catch me doing anything in the snow.
Also, why were they on the same team?
Oh, okay, wait. I have thoughts on that too. It's like a perfect book trope where it's like they have to work together, which I like. Okay. Unfortunately, though, in this movie, it did not work. I wasn't vibing with it. I thought it was so awkward when he like tried to save her.
Yes.
It was horrible, like so cringe. I was like, oh, I like had to look away. It was so bad. Okay, I will say one thing that's not related to the cringe of paintball.
Okay.
But relates to Lucy. I feel like this movie definitely focused on Lucy and Josh, but I also felt that they like were trying to like insert her like character growth. And I think this is like the first kind of like part where we see that like she's very much like a pushover.
Yes.
Right,
Oh,
so
her
she's gonna-
one coworker.
Yes, and she's like, my like boyfriend's niece or whatever needs an internship. She's gonna come work at the office, and it's something that like Josh teases her about too, because it's like, oh, you don't have a spine, like you're a pushover, you can't say no, blah blah blah, which I liked because then it did humanize Lucy for me, and it made her real, which I think again is why I felt that like Lucy was alive and breathing compared to Josh and his weird character arc. Another funny thing, as I was thinking, I was like, okay, I told you in the Love Hypothesis, I felt like you were more so Olive. I was definitely Lucy.
Yeah.
Like, I feel when she couldn't say no to her friend who kept asking for favors or like, oh, my billing timesheet or whatever that I'm going to send you, I need next week to do it. I wouldn't say no because I don't know how to say no.
No, and I think that's so true because like you're also super driven and want to do your work, but
Yeah.
you don't want to like burden other people with that. So then you'll be like, I'll just do it myself then, or
Yeah.
I'll catch up for you, whatever. I'll just do
Yeah.
it myself. And yeah, I 100% agree.
Right?
Look at us.
Okay, look, so you're Olive, I'm Lucy. Got
Great.
it.
Does that make Jack Josh?
No, it doesn't, because I would still jump and steal Adam Carlson.
Oh my god, I'm dead.
No, thank you,
Jack
Josh.
is Selena's fiance, by the way. In case anyone has no idea what just happened. Yeah, Adam Carlson forever.
He's a
Hashtag.
one of a kind, but maybe too,
Yeah.
when I read the book, maybe I'll fall in love with Josh. I don't know, because right
Who's to
now,
say?
he is just nothing.
Yep. That sounds so hard.
I know. I'm sorry, but dude, come on.
Yeah, I mean, you're not
Really?
wrong. Yeah. So Lucy then gets hit in the stomach, and Josh decides to take care of her, which I felt like I liked the idea of this being the moment where he like shows he cares and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I really like that he just like held her hair back and like rubbed her back and like all of those things. And I like when this happens in shows where like the girl is like a little out of it and then she says things that maybe she shouldn't. So I did love that. I did like this scene a lot.
I like the scene too, but with some flaws. First of all, why didn't Danny take her home?
Yeah.
What the heck? Imagine your girlfriend being towed off by some other guy at the office because Danny was there. I was like, this is kind of weird. I do really like the trope where like the guy takes care of like the girl. I will die for that trope any freaking day. Literally so random, but in this scene when like she, I think maybe is in the bathroom or she's sleeping or whatever, he like is only wearing like that Under Armour shirt. And that was the first time I was like, okay, like I can vibe with that. Like I wasn't in love, but I was like the first time in the film, I was like, okay, I see.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's better. It was better than like what he normally wears for sure.
100%. Yes.
And normally I love a guy in a good suit, but still. Can we talk about, I'm curious if you'll feel the same way that I do. Why did he invite his brother over? And then why were they just hanging out in her apartment? That was weird. What?
Okay. I have some thoughts about this. When I saw that, I thought that was cute.
Interesting.
Because it's the thought that counts that I was like,
Okay.
oh, he wants to care for her again, which emphasizes the whole point of him being like this soft boy. Because I'm like, you care for her? Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then he did this thing. Personally, when he took care of her, I was like, that's attractive. But I think that's because my love language is acts of service.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, not only did he take care of her, but he like cleaned the apartment and he like brought over a doctor. So I think that's why I was like okay with the whole doctor scene.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. That
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
What is your love language again?
Words of affirmation.
Okay.
I love a good words of affirmation, and then second is quality time. But I just just tell me what you like about me. Like, I don't know. It makes me sound so dumb, but I don't know. I love when people are sweet. Like, I literally, in my room, I have a bag that I save all the cards people write me for holidays. So, like, and I've had it for, like, years and years and years. So I can, like, go back and read it if I'm sad or, like, missing somebody or.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, that's so cute.
Yeah.
That's adorable. I love
Yeah.
it. My second one after acts of services is also quality time.
Nice. Quality time is it's just great.
Another reason why they were just chilling there is because of freaking plot point of like the whole wedding thing, which when I heard there was a wedding, I was like, oh, that's such a classic like contemporary romance trope of like, oh, there's a wedding that you have to go and you need a date. And let's talk about when he came up to her bed. They were talking after his brother left, and she said, I like the way you look at me.
Yes.
What were your thoughts? I want to hear your thoughts.
I liked it.
Me too.
I just thought that was like a really cute thing to say.
It was
And
just
she would never say that on a normal day. And I just thought it was really innocent and cute, and I just really liked it.
it was like so like vulnerable for me. And I think when she said that, I was like, holy crap. I was like, everything is coming together.
Yeah.
I really, really liked that she knows his shirts and she like listed them off.
Yes.
I was like, wait, that's so adorable because like you remember and you like notice, I mean, even though it's like really weird that he has an order of shirts, like you remembered, and I was like, oh my gosh.
I know. I like that too. I thought it was a little weird, but I was like, okay, it's cute.
Yeah.
Like, I'll take it. I'll take it.
One thing that did piss me off before we move into the office scene was that when she woke up and he was like cleaning her house, she was like, what are you doing here? And like started yelling at him. And I was like, this is so abrupt. Like, you need to stop. Like, I was so confused. To be honest, I don't even remember what they were yelling at because it was that pointless to me.
Yes, 100%. I was like, why are you yelling at him? Like, he's been so nice and like so caring and thoughtful and doing all these things for you, and then you're gonna yell at him? Like, what the heck?
That goes back to my point of the push and pull. It just felt so weird because they had this like really cute moment, and then all of a sudden it's like 0 to 100 again, and I was like, it doesn't feel natural to me. That was a thing.
But then I feel like they like do the whole RSVP thing and then they head to the wedding, right? Or am I missing something?
The rose on her desk.
Oh yes, I forgot. I forgot about the rose on the desk. And then
you should do an accent, a new accent for every episode.
Yes, so for this one, it's so weird. Is this when she figures out that the first roses were from him?
Yes.
Okay.
What did you think when you saw that on the desk? Because it was her and Danny coming out of the elevator.
I thought it was cute, but it also felt a little anticlimactic, like the way she figured it out. I don't know. It's like, again, something about it felt unfinished.
I had severe secondhand embarrassment because Danny was there. I was like, oh my God. That's so like cringe knowing that like your boyfriend or the guy you're seeing is standing next to you who didn't get you the rose on your desk. Like I like could not. I physically was like, ugh.
But again, poor Danny. He just yeah.
I did think it was cute though. Like, again, I'm an acts of service girl and kind of gifts too, because the rose is a gift. That he got her strawberry juice and a card that said shortcake.
And that's how she knew and stuff. I did think that was cute.
Because she mentioned the strawberry juice when she was like hallucinating or whatever. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that is kind of cute. But again, Danny was standing there. So I had like secondhand embarrassment.
It's like, I can't, if I were in this room, I would die.
Same. Okay, holy crap. There so much stuff happens before they go to the wedding. It's the whole storage closet.
I forgot about that.
Also, such a weird trope, which I've mentioned for the love hypothesis before. When he uses her full name, Lucinda, I was like, now I know you're being serious.
Yeah, I thought it was so awkward, but also I liked it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, he was like, you're not going to take advantage of me. Like, you're not going to just take what you want when, like, you think that, you know, like, did I not just show you, like, this different side of me, like, by taking care of you and, like, all of these sweet things,
Yes.
and now you just want to get it out of your system? Like, I understand why he was hurt by that.
This was the point where I was like, okay, Josh, I can vibe with you now. Like, I got you, because he set those boundaries. And I was like, wow, good for you. Like, I literally would have never expected him to set these boundaries, but then he did with her in the closet. And I was like, damn, that's a power move right there.
It is. Yeah.
What I did find weird and cheesy, though, when he was like, do me a favor and kiss Danny. And I was like, what? And then he goes, and if it's better than our elevator kiss, then fine, but I don't want to be some experiment before you settle, because blah, blah, blah. At first, I was like, this doesn't make sense, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
It was a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
I don't even know how else to describe it.
Yeah.
I just, again, I feel like they're just jumping around and
Yes.
changing personalities. And I'm just like, where's the buildup? It's the push and pull, like we've talked about, is so misplaced.
There's like no balance. It's like either you're a soft boy all the way, or you like freaking hate her, you know? Or you're not even walking the line.
Ugh, man.
Oh, that's what I thought was cringe. Sorry, I couldn't find the freaking quote. When he was like, I'm not going to put my hands on you until you tell me that nobody kisses you like I do. That was cringe for me.
It was a little too pushy. I don't know the right word.
I think it was just too much for me, to be honest. I was just like, really? In the storage closet, you're going to really say that? Like, I don't know. Like, even talking about it now, I'm like, ew, I can't. Like, I don't know.
That's what I mean by their dialogue, just like not.
Yeah. It's not natural. It is not natural.
So the next scene is where Lucy goes to the apartment after having that date with Danny where she kisses him, and she was like, no, not for me, because she was like, I need to figure out, because I want his hands on me or whatever. So she goes over to his apartment, which I thought it was really funny how she was like trying to get up the courage to go in, and he like was like, what are you doing?
No, I thought it was so cute because he like literally walks up to her and was like, oh, do you think he's home or whatever? Or I don't know what he said, but I thought it was so hilarious.
I thought so too. Then they go inside and like, I don't even know.
No, you missed the most freaking cringe part, I think.
What?
Was when he lifted her up and she said no one kisses her like he does. And then
I forgot that. Oh my gosh.
They kiss, and then she makes some sort of noise. And he's like,
I think I like blocked it from my memory because I didn't want to remember.
You blacked out. Sorry, I can't even say. He said, oh my God, that noise you just made. Which,
And it was like the least passionate kiss. Like it was,
yes.
and it wasn't even like, the noise was like, I'm not even going to imitate it because I will embarrass myself, but like it wasn't even like.
It wasn't even a noise. I didn't even hear it. I didn't even hear it. And then he like pulled away and said that, and I was like, dude, that's so cringe. I physically could not handle it. I had to pause the movie and be like, what the heck am I watching? Like, oh my goodness.
Are you crying?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh, painful.
So
my
painful.
God, the noise you just made. Ugh. And then they just go inside.
That's it. Like, they just kind of dropped it. And I was like, what is happening?
See, if they wanted to build it up correctly, what they would have done is they would have skipped the whole, like, her looking around his apartment, and they would have just, like, kept kissing. But, like, the tension just, like, dropped.
Literally
even though there
went away.
was none for me. And
I will say, his place is actually really cute.
Yeah.
His
yeah.
apartment, if I walked into a guy's apartment and it was that nice with like the exposed brick, I'd be like, dude,
Heck yeah.
oh my gosh,
I'm coming here
I
more
was like, are
often.
you an interior, are you an interior designer?
Literally. It was so nice.
This was at the point of the movie that I finally found him attractive. Where I finally was like vibing with him. I was like, okay, I can deal with you, but I also still don't like your acting.
What made it change for you in that scene?
Oh my God, I don't even know.
Maybe it was the gray sweatshirt. I have a note about that. I was like, also him in the gray sweatshirt, ...
Yes.
Because I loved him in a more casual look.
Yes, rather than the suit, like, oh my God, yeah, no, you're so right. You're so right.
Okay, let's just talk about it. Because
Go.
the way that she like jumps on his bed and then like pats it, it didn't. I think it was supposed to feel playful, but it felt really awkward.
It was so forced.
Yes,
Where I was like,
yes.
It was weird, though, even leading up to it, because she's like looking at the books, and then she's like, I want to see your bedroom. And I'm like, that's a little forward.
Yeah.
That's a little forward. I will say, though, too, because when they went to the bedroom, I was misled because they did all of that, like, dirty talk before when he was like, oh, I'm going to put, like, a stethoscope down your shirt or whatever, blah, 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 right? So then I was like, oh, my God, they're going to go to the bedroom. And then nothing.
There's this one line that Lucy says while they're like making out that made me so uncomfortable. Do you know what I'm gonna say?
No, what was it?
It's the one where she was like, oh, we should see who can make the other come first or
Yes.
something like that.
I do remember that, and that's my blackout moment. I was like, not getting into my memory at all.
It was so bad that I was like, no.
It was, oh God, like, again, the whole lead up to it felt so freaking weird from the second they met at, like, outside of his apartment. I will say one thing before we get to how the scene ends. Did you did you realize that they both said hi the same way that the love
Yes!
I screamed. I literally screamed.
But boy, oh boy, did they have different impacts on me. The love
Yes.
hypothesis, when they said hi, I was like, ah! And then in this movie, I was like, why are you telling each other hello?
I was like,
The
huh?
heck?
Yeah, no.
Didn't you already say hello to each other downstairs? Like, I don't.
Exactly.
know.
I stand by my point. The hating game walked so the love hypothesis could run. It's just yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I gasped when she said, let's just have sex, get it out of your system, and then things can get back to normal. And then he says, okay, shortcake, I think it's getting late. And then he literally just gets up and leaves. And I was like, what the heck is happening?
Okay, I think he didn't want it to be a casual thing. He clearly was like fully invested in her at this point and maybe thought that like now that she didn't want to talk to Danny anymore, that like now it was him for sure. That was not the message that she had in her mind.
Yes.
And so again, the communication just wasn't there, but like this argument felt really like gross. Like I don't like the way he just like threw her off of her as if it was like bad. And then I just feel like she could have explained it.
No,
or not her, him.
Yes, in this moment, I felt really, really confused with him because I was like, dude, you told her to like go and like kiss Danny and like if he's not what you want, blah, blah, come to me then. So I was like, oh my God, this is it, right? That's why I was so excited about this like apartment scene or whatever because I was like, this is it. And then again, the push and pull, it just felt so weird that I was like, it's like not working. Like it's clearly not working. And I think at that point, especially after the whole like, oh, it's getting late or whatever, I was like, okay, I'm kind of done.
Yeah. This is where it really started to lose me. But then at the hotel is where it really lost me. So after she leaves his apartment and we're all confused, like what just happened? She sees him at work or whatever and she says, no, I'm still gonna come to the wedding or whatever. So they go in the car, he starts to like open up to her a little bit about like what his family is like, which of course he was never good enough for his dad, and his dad wanted him to have a certain career, but he went a different way and blah, blah, blah. I wasn't buying it. Like, I wasn't buying the emotion behind it at all, honestly.
Oh, really? I'm gonna be honest. This was another blackout moment for me. Because I was just like, I don't care. Like, at this point, I was like, you can't build up this backstory now because I'm already so checked out. Like, you should have done it way earlier.
I agree. It was whatever.
Yeah.
But then they show up to the hotel, and I have a note that said, is that the big summer blowout guy from Frozen? Did you write it?
I was gonna say that too. Literally, I was like, is this a copy and paste? Like, what the heck?
I can't believe you said that too. And also, they tried to make him like a funny side character a few times, like at the second half of the movie, and I was like, this is so pointless.
It's so odd. Like, what? Just cut it out. Like, it's not worth it.
So then, of course, there's only one room, only one bed.
Classic trope.
Yes, as Olive would tell us. This is the part where I get so confused. I'm like, I'm completely checking out of the movie. So he lets her shower first. She gets ready.
Yep.
Then he comes out. He's in his towel. And she's just getting ready, putting on the lipstick in the mirror. And then all of a sudden, he grabs her wrist.
They kiss?
They kiss.
And
No,
then-
they have sex.
Yes, they kiss and then they have sex. Like, she brings him to the bed.
It was done in like 2 seconds.
Literally.
And then they're acting like everything's fine. And I was like,
Yes.
I don't. What?
Yes.
It made no sense. The flip of like.
What changed with him? Because again, remember, he stopped it at his apartment. So at this point, I'm like, okay, dude, what changed? Like, you opened up to her
Yes,
in the car,
literally.
but like, what would have changed that made you think, oh, she's serious, I'm gonna sleep with her or whatever? Like, I don't.
Literally.
It literally didn't make sense, and I was so frustrated because when they kissed after he got out of the shower, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I can vibe. And then they had sex, and I was like, wait a second, I'm confused now. The push and pull just didn't make sense, and I was not happy with it.
No. And there was no like chemistry. Like, I just.
I did not feel it. It just didn't seem believable. Ugh. So, after they have that weird sex scene, they go to the actual wedding that they're there for. His older brother getting married to this girl, and his mom and dad are there. And the ceremony's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. They go to the reception. I knew the second that the bride came up to Lucy and talked to her about like the whole like, oh, me and like Josh dated beforehand. I knew it. It all made sense because it's like he doesn't want to be an experiment because the bride was an experiment, or he was an experiment to the bride, and then she jumped to the brother. And I was like, I freaking knew it. I'm so smart.
It makes it makes sense. I did not see that coming, so you go, girl.
Yeah.
But I was also like, it just seems pointless. But I guess maybe it makes his backstory make sense when you say that. So now I
Yes.
feel that it's less pointless. But
Like in the storage closet before, when she was still with Danny, he was like, oh, I don't want to be an experiment. So that to me, I was like, oh, okay, now all of these pieces that you've laid before, they like connect now. So I felt better about his character, but I like obviously still didn't really love him. So
yeah. So of course we hate Josh's dad. I mean, just classic, like horrible. Who talks to your son like that?
do
like
we
you're
even
horrible.
do we even have to mention that we hate his dad? It's already assumed that we hate him.
literally. Exactly. But then the way that she stands up to him, I was like, what?
It was literally the most forced thing in the
Yes.
world. It just felt so out of place and icky. Like, if I was in that room, I would have been like, girl, sit down. Sit
Literally,
down.
like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
no. And usually I kind of like when people will like stand up for each other
Yes.
and stuff, but it fell so flat.
I will say, I did really like when Josh was like, don't speak to her that way.
Yes, that I liked. Like, yes, you
it's
tell
like-
him.
It's another like Adam Carlson moment of like, don't touch the woman that I love.
Yes.
It was so subtle where it's like, don't speak to her that way. I was like,
Yeah, 100%. That, yes, I
Yes.
did like.
that wedding scene ends in the weirdest way, and they leave like immediately after that. Yeah. And then what I thought was weird too was like he brought her to his place, and he's like, "Oh, I know you so well, and I'm gonna prove it to you." And he goes into the bedroom, and he's like, "What do you see?" And she's like, "Oh, like my dress is the same color as your wall." And he's like, "It's also the same color of your eyes." My jaw dropped. I was like, what is happening?
It was supposed to be cute, but I just thought it was like creepy. Not creepy, but like weird.
I can get on that. I liked it. You know what I thought was weird was that he was like, "Oh, I know you're from a strawberry farm, so that's why I call you Shortcake." I thought that was weird.
Anything that has to do with the fact that he calls her Shortcake is weird. Like, I don't.
You're right.
If anyone ever called me Shortcake, I'd be like, the heck is wrong with you? Like, don't.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess they were trying to like make it cute, which I definitely understand, right? You need to have that moment in a contemporary like romance novel or movie. For me personally though, this movie fell off the cliff after that scene.
Yes. I
was like, what movie am I watching?
Yes, 100%. Not good. Why did he say I love you?
Again, it was a blackout memory for me. Because I literally don't have that in my notes, and I might have blacked it out, which is weird because like he led into like the strawberry farm thing to Shortcake, and then he's like, "Oh, I know you so well, because that's why I love you." Or I don't know. It was really weird.
I was like, "Why are you saying that? Like you don't. Where was the build up?"
They were trying to build it up with the whole like, "Oh, my wall is the color of your eyes," and blah 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 blah. No, it just did not hit the way that it was supposed to.
Okay, and then I think what happens next, which correct me if I'm wrong, is they're in the office and there's this scene where Lucy overhears Richard and Josh talking, but basically it's Richard talking, but Josh is like agreeing with him about how horrible she is and just crapping on women. And I was like, you're the reason why the world sucks, Richard. But I was also like, what the heck? I'm sorry. I don't know if I would have been that quick to like forgive Josh for that. I think that was really gross. And like, you just said you loved her, but now you're playing along. Like, I do this with my friends. If someone's talking badly about my friend, like I will come for you. Like I'm not gonna sit there and listen to it. But he just sat there and like agreed. I was like, Josh, why?
Why is this scene even relevant? Even after we got the scene that he said he loved her. I was like, this is dumb. Like, why?
It made no sense.
I think they were trying to like get back into the plot, right? Because the whole plot, remember, is the whole like managing director position. So I think that was like their way of trying to tie it back into the plot. But I was like, this is stupid. When you already know Josh and he wouldn't freaking stand there, but I guess he freaking did, and it's so dumb.
Again, his character makes no sense.
No,
none.
After the scene with Richard and Josh, Lucy basically runs off, and who does she call? Danny, because that's the only guy who she really has chemistry with.
And she takes advantage of him.
Yeah. They're at this coffee shop, and she's basically just like crying about how like she can't believe like this is what Josh would do. Danny being Danny, he's just being so nice to her, just helping her. The weirdest thing, though, is that then Josh comes into, like, the coffee shop, too, which I'm like, first of all, how do you know that she's there? She's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I was looking for you or whatever. She goes, literally, so high school of like, oh, I don't want to talk to you. So dumb.
So dumb. I was like, tell him what you saw.
Yes. It was so unnecessary drama that I was like, this is dumb. That's basically it. And then they prepare for like the presentation for like the managing director. I'm gonna be honest with you, I like blacked out at the end of this movie. So
no, the end of this movie, I honestly was so tuned out. Like I really didn't care. Like they had lost my interest.
Yes, same. Like I was like clocked out. And then they like are in the conference room, right, after all these presentations, and Lucy is getting there. She's the last one to get there, and Josh is like talking to the people who like interviewed them, and he's like shaking their hands, and the girl's like, oh, congratulations, you're gonna do a great job. And Lucy comes into the conference room. She's like, congratulations, Josh. Like, you're gonna do great. He, like, walks around the conference table and, like, stands next to her. It does this stupid speech where it's like, everyone, like, I'm so proud and blah, 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 blah to announce your next managing director, Lucy, or whatever. The most cringe thing in the world. I was like, dude, this is, oh, God. Thoughts.
I'm sitting here silent because I just like, I feel so uncomfortable. Yes. And I also just like don't care. Like, yes. I was like, that was so awkward. It's as if nothing happened and everything was perfectly fine and there was like no resolve. All of a sudden she's the managing director because he dropped out and got a job elsewhere, which I also thought was like very out of character. Yes. And I thought it would have been a better resolve had like, or like would have been better for the plot had she like actually earned the position. Because I felt like it kind of undermined her hard work. And then maybe like they kind of worked together, or maybe part of it was like they had to do the job together, or I don't know, something like that. Anything but what happened.
No,
probably.
I agree. You know what made me feel the most ick out of it all?
The kiss?
Is that No, wait, that it's something. wait, just a minute. Before the kiss, where they were talking about how, like, he never interviewed for the managing director position. And then her boss was like, oh, like, Josh actually told me a week ago that he is resigning and blah, blah, blah. I felt so ick because she was like, oh, I knew if I told you that, then you wouldn't have tried hard enough. Like, I needed a fire lit under your ass so that you would get this position and blah, blah. I was like,
she could have done it without you.
Exactly. Is so manipulative. And I was like, that's so gross. Why don't you just tell her the truth? Like, both you and Josh should have just told her the freaking truth. She was fine with it, some reason, with being manipulated like that. Mm-hmm. And then it was the weird kiss where everyone watched.
And everyone was like, yes! Yeah. I was like, what the heck is happening?
So gross. Yeah.
I think we missed a few things at the end of the movie, but honestly, I don't even remember them.
I don't even care.
Maybe, I think I have notes about it, but I don't.
I don't even care.
And then the movie ends, and then there's like the clip of them like walking, and everything's good. Or it was like, it time jumped a little, right?
Yeah, because he was in his new position and she was in her new position, and you could see her with like an assistant or whatever. I did think it was cute that they were on the phone and he was like, oh, this like editor at HarperCollins is like trying to get me to do whatever. And he was like, oh, should I beat him up for you? And blah, blah, blah. Which is, I thought it was cute because the editor was him, you know? So
yeah.
To be honest, I think that was the end of the movie because I was like, done. Yeah. I was done.
How disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why I had like higher expectations. I think it's because of the book, like all the buzz that the book has gotten. I thought this would be good, and it just
wasn't. And I was talking to my roommate, and she was saying that a lot of the times when like books, like especially romance books or like contemporary romance books go to like movie, a lot of the times there's just so much missing that it's really hard to get behind. Yeah. Which I agree with, but I'm also like, I think it could have been done better. Like, I see the potential there, which is now why I'm like motivated to go read the book, even though I didn't love the movie, because I feel like, number one, there's got to be a reason people like the book, but number two, I feel like it had to have made more sense than the movie did. It just had to.
Oh yeah, I bet the book is like 10 times better. Because again, I felt like it was so rushed. I was like, why are we rushing through this? Like, I need more time to breathe, and like their relationship didn't make sense. It was all kind of messy in an organized way, but very messy still. You still have 2 voice memos, right?
Yes, I don't remember what they relate to though.
Just play them.
I will play them for you guys. So one is titled The Danny Date, which I think refers to the one where she kisses Danny. Yep. I don't even remember what this is, so I could surprise myself.
Okay, why did she ask Danny if he ever thought about kissing her? That's so awkward. I want to actually die. I want to die. I want to crawl under a table. I simply cannot live with how awkward I feel.
Okay, now that does remind me that was really weird, because they were just eating and she's like, why haven't you kissed me yet?
Yeah, literally. I was like, girl, like, I know you're trying to like kiss him to figure it out, but like, again,
That's so weird.
Yeah. Okay, here's the third one. This one doesn't have a title. I think it might have been after the sex scene, but I could be wrong. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. What are they fighting about exactly? I mean, I know why he's upset, but like, why doesn't he just say that he wants more? I don't understand. That was so dramatic for no reason, and now I'm pissed.
Was that after the apartment scene, do you think?
I think.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was literally the same. I felt the same because I was like, this is dumb. This is so dumb.
Again, I feel like that's the case with like so many of these scenes. I'm like, that was so pointless.
Yeah.
That's the end of the movie, folks.
Yeah. Well,
It was really good. You should definitely watch it if you haven't yet. And whatever.
At least we watched it and we were on the same page, I felt like.
I'm so glad. So I texted Selena after I finished and I was like, Selena, I have so much to talk about. And I was like, is she going to think that like I mean that in a good way? And then she texted me. She's like, oh my gosh, I watched it and I have so much to talk about. And I'm so glad that we were on the same page. I'm glad we watched it too. I think Lucy Hale's a really good actress. Like I actually really
Great.
enjoyed her, but I
too.
think, and maybe it would have been better with the casting because maybe both of them themselves are like fine, but together it just was not working for me.
Yeah, no, on screen, I was not vibing with them. But you know what's weird? Both of them were executive producers on the movie. So they probably signed onto the
Interesting.
project really, really early. So that's weird because, like, well, I find it weird because I was like, why would you pick him as Josh? Like, he's
That's so
not-
interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, no, that I don't either because that was the movie. That was it.
What's going to be our next episode, Selena?
Yes, next week, Theoni and I are going to be talking about our favorite go-to TV shows, like our top 3 that like we always resort to. We'll come to the episode prepared to like state our case of our like top 3 TV shows. So
I'm curious if we'll have any of the same ones.
me too.
I think there might be one.
I was just gonna say I think there's one.
We should write down our guess right now for what show that will be and see if it's the same one.
Yes, and then read it on the next episode.
Yes. Okay. I'm writing it right now.
Okay, me too. Okay, I got it down.
Okay, me too. But yeah, I'm super excited because I love my TV shows. So
Well, thank you so much for listening. If you have any thoughts about The Hating Game, either the movie or the book, please let us know. Comment, like, subscribe. I don't know, email us, do whatever. But thanks for listening, and we hope you tune in next week.
bye.
Bye.